Hold on, they speak how many languages? Welcome back to Cliffy Land. This is week 134 on our second attempt of cooking the food of every single country in the world, and tonight we're up to the nation of Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea, an island nation located mostly on the eastern half of the island of New Guinea, north of Australia. It shares that island with Indonesia. That also includes a number of other islands in Melanesia. It's a fascinating country which is about more than 80% rural, and it's home to over 800 languages, 11 of which have no living speakers. It's a very rural country. The food is very much that of the food of Oceania, and particularly not influenced by the food of East Asia. It has a lot of dishes that involve fish along the coast mostly, a lot of things involving coconut and sago and rice. There are a lot of different dishes that are done there, very typical of Oceania and Melanesia, but before we get into that, we have to look and see how things went when we tried this all last time around. Well, 4 years ago on the Global Cooking Challenge, I got to cook over 3 nights. On the first night, I did a coconut fish, which was very nice, tasty, nothing to write home about. The second night, I did another dish, which, believe it or not, I totally forgot to take a final picture of, so oops. But the third dish is the one that we're doing tonight, and that is a national favorite. It is a kitchen version of a traditional dish, which is called Moo Moo. So in this case, it's Moo Moo in a drum. Now that is a layered dish, usually done in a pot over an open fire or in a pit covered with palm leaves. It's very much like that you'll get through other parts of Oceania. And this will involve things like root vegetables, green vegetables, fruit, pork and chicken and leafy greens and coconut milk and usually rice, although there's no rice in either of the recipes we use. Now last time around it was really delicious. I enjoyed it very much, although I was a little surprised that, well, let's just say I was operating under the impression that the food of Oceania traditionally does involve a lot of spices, a lot of seasoning, or even salt and pepper, so I felt it was missing that then. Now, I've done the dish several times since then. It's always been a big hit, and I've learned the secret is to season every layer, so that's what you're going to see tonight. Now, when we did it last time, it was really great. Times before, really great. This time around, though, little things to note. First off, I had used papaya as the fruit last time. It's not in season here this time, so I decided to use guava, even though I've never cooked with it before, even though I've had it before. More on that later. Although the primary recipe doesn't say specifically how much of any specific ingredient to include, it did give a proportion per serving, and for our gathering, we had about 6 people, so adjust accordingly. Also, the second recipe we incorporated with this involved 2 items which probably aren't traditional, I think, which would be onions and garlic, so those are optional. Still, we really loved it before, we're gonna like it again. Now we have to see what goes into that dish. For our Moo Moo in a drum, we'll need banana leaves, coconut oil, half a pound of pineapple chunks, 1 pound of green peas, 1 2/3 pounds of boneless pork ribs, 1 2/3 pounds of boneless skinless chicken thighs, 2 cans of coconut milk, 1/2 pound of guava, 1/2 pound of fresh mango, 1 onion, 2/3 of a pound of sweet potato, 1/2 pound of ripe bananas, 1 pound of fresh spinach, 2/3 of a pound of yuca, 1 pound of fresh green beans, 2/3 of a pound of carrots, and salt and pepper to taste. That is a lot of stuff. I hope you have all day to cook, because we gotta get started. First, prep all the ingredients, peeling, cutting off ends, and cutting into bite-sized pieces as necessary. Then, in a sufficiently large pot or Dutch oven, lightly coat the pot with coconut oil. Then line the pot with softened banana leaves, and then make a layer with the carrots, sweet potato, and yuca. Season the layer with salt and pepper, layer on the pork, season the layer with salt and pepper, and then make a layer with the mango, banana, guava, and pineapple. Season that layer with salt and pepper, then make a layer with the chicken, season that layer with salt and pepper, make a layer with the green beans, peas, onions if using, and garlic if using, and season that layer with salt and pepper. Add the coconut milk to cover,
and cover with spinach leaves. Season that with salt and pepper, and fold over the banana leaves to cover. Cover and place over medium heat to bring it up to cooking temperature, about 15 minutes, and then turn to the lowest heat setting and let it gently simmer for 45 minutes. Heat your oven to 275 degrees Fahrenheit, and move the pot to the oven and let it bake for 5 hours. Note that this dish is never stirred. Serve from the pot or family style, separating out the layers into separate serving dishes.
How did that turn out? In a word, phenomenal. It was just as great as it's been before. All our guests loved it. They were very surprised by the complexity of all the flavors, the different fruits and vegetables and the meat all in it was just really terrific. I didn't know exactly how to serve it because normally it's served out of the casserole, as I understand, and here I wanted to do it, separate out the layers as best as I could to replicate kind of what I saw when I had a traditional Maori dish in New Zealand, which was similar to this. But it was really great. My only ding against it was a my fault kind of thing, and since I'd never actually cooked with guava before, I did see that it is often eaten raw, that you do eat the peel, but what I didn't bargain for were the little tiny hard seeds that stayed behind, and that was kind of an oopsie that I didn't foresee. So that was a my fault thing, because the rest of it was really great. I'm going to give the Moo Moo in a Drum from Papua New Guinea 5 out of 5 globes. Really great. If you have a whole lot of people coming, make it at home, you're going to love it. So that does it for this bit in Oceania. Remember, people of Oceania, there are a lot of traditional Oceania dishes that we haven't gotten to yet, and we've been saving them for later because we're going to have a whole mess of island nations coming up in the letter S. But for now, we're going to be away for a bit, but we'll be back next time when we go back to South America to have 2 weeks starting with the food of Paraguay. See you then. And remember, if you'd like to see our streams live when they happen, follow us on Periscope or Facebook Live, like and subscribe to be advised when these videos are posted. If you have any thoughtful feelings or helpful suggestions about the food that we're cooking, sound off in the comments. Remember, links to the original recipes, remember these aren't my recipes, are found in the About section, and tune in next time. Thanks for watching and happy eating!